Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on Season 2 of Cobra Kai. And this son of a bitch was all kinds of awesome sauce. I remember falling immediately in love with the first season of this series because of its, just par excellence writing, pacing, plotting, the characterization, the performances, the cinematography. It was just that much better than most average offerings on television, and I frankly don't know how they did it, but they managed to raise the bar. They elevated the bar that much more, surpassing what they managed to accomplish in the first season, as per my own personal reaction and thoughts on it. It's just, wow. This show is all kinds of awesome sauce. And it's a grand chess game. It's surrounding karate and karate dojos and everything like that, but it is a grand chess game, and it's a multi-tiered. It's like three-dimensional chess from freaking Star Trek over here, because you not only have the bounding back and forth, the power struggle going on between Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence, but you have the return of John Kreese, going back to the original Karate Kid film, this big bad, and he is definitely big bad in all the ways possible, in all the ways you could possibly want. I remember going back to the season finale of the first season, when we first see John Kreese showing up, and going into season 2, I didn't know how much he was going to actually have an active role in it, how much play he was going to have in it. And he's there for the long haul, man. He's in like almost every episode, and I'm eating up every minute of it. I'm loving every dripping minute of it, because he is just oozing badassery, oozing nefariousness, being a baddie, and the manipulative nature. It's not only there between Daniel and Johnny, but it's there between Johnny and John Kreese, and it was just spectacular. And the characterization, it's not only focused on Daniel and Johnny, but it's also focused on their students, of course, their children. We actually get to see in one of the episodes some of the Cobra Kai buddies from back in the day, from the original Karate Kid. They show up. One of them is unfortunately dying of cancer, and but the way it impacts Johnny and opens his eyes to what he needs to be more appreciative of, it is really heartening, and it's just that great sort of character arc that Johnny is on, trying to find himself, find a better way for himself, as well as his students, now coming up against the impact that John Kreese represents in his life, and calling back on all those negative things that he wants to discard and that have shaped and molded where he finds himself in the modern day and everything like that. I'm gushing. I love this series so much. I'm not the kind of guy that binge watches almost anything. I'm a big time anime guy. I cover a lot of anime on my YouTube channel, and occasionally I'll come across a series that's a little older than what I'm currently watching, that might, hit my fancy in the right sort of way, where I'll binge watch it. I'll watch as many episodes as I can, in just an immediate stretch. But it's very rare that anything pulls me in and keeps me at the precipice, on the edge of my seat, like this series has. I went through those 10 episodes of season 2 in a day. It's like I started episode 1, next thing I know, I'm dusting off episode 10. And it was just, that's how spectacular it is. Again, talking about the characterization and that interplay, that chess game, maneuvering back and forth. It's not only about Johnny and Daniel, but it's about their children. Miguel, sort of an adoptive son to Johnny, his next door neighbor's child, and there's even a relationship that blossoms with his mother between, she and Johnny, as inadvertent and short-lived as it may have played out to be. Robbie, his blood kin, who is then taken in by Daniel and his family, and there's that surrogate father thing going on between Daniel and Robbie in the same way that it is between Johnny and Miguel. And then, of course, the unfortunately short-lived love affair between Miguel and Daniel's daughter Sam, who is also, into the karate business. And then the sidling up of Sam and Robbie, because now they're spending so much time over their summer break together, now that, Daniel has taken Robbie in, and everything like that. Characters like Hawk and Dimitri being this uber nerd, Hawk having once been, wanting to no longer be a pussy, and just becoming a bully and an asshole. It's like everybody has this arc. Everybody has somebody to bound off. With Sam, it's this new girl, Tori, who seems to be able to pack a punch of her own accord. She seems to already know a little bit of karate and everything like that. And I'm wondering if there's some sort of origin to be revealed, maybe calling back on someone from Karate Kid films past or something like that. But she's definitely like a negative influencing character, and the way she sort of steals Miguel out from under Sam, basically cashing in on the fact that they have broken up. And now we have these two couples, Sam and Robbie, Miguel and Tori. It's absolutely balls to the wall insane. And it reaches peak drama by the end because there is an accident that occurs because now all of these kids, because of the rivalry of their parents, Daniel and Johnny respectively, the children are being shaped and molded in having the same kind of rivalries. And they're really, going up head to head. There's this big party, this big school party from one of the girls that was like one of Hawk's love interests or whatever. And she turns out to have a girlfriend now. And then, of course, Dimitri, who's like the uber nerd, who, was once best friends with Hawk. Hawk is bullying him, calling him a pussy. He's pissed off that he's writing, bad write-ups online about Cobra Kai and having had his ass handed to him by John Kreese. All this kind of stuff. It's balls to the wall insane, but everything comes to a head by the end because the rivalries have reached the children. It's that trickle-down effect of, existing the way your parents do. And unfortunately, somebody, I'm not going to say who, I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen the series, but one of the characters pays a price when everything rears its ugly head and everything comes to a head. And it is a pretty resounding cliffhanger where it's like, oh boy, what in the hell is going to happen next? The only sort of saving grace in all of it being that a season 3 has been officially announced. So, hell yes, I can't wait to see more of this. There have been these hints going all throughout the season of Elizabeth Shue's character potentially coming back in some way, shape, or form. I would love it if they got her. That would be such a tremendous get for this series. But like, I gotta dial back for a minute because I absolutely love Johnny Lawrence's backwards, unfamiliarity with modern things like computers and smartphones and everything like that. So at one point, Miguel sets him up on like Facebook or something like that. He wants to know about dating apps, and he goes on these blind dates that all come crashing and burning down on him. So he ends up seeking out on Facebook Elizabeth Shue's character, Allie, and he inadvertently gets like struck by a chick in a bar. Right when he's gonna like renege on sending the message to her, to Allie, and it ends up getting accidentally sent. And then in the finale, the final shot of the finale, there is this scene where he's pissed off because of what happened, the accident that happened to one of the characters, and he throws his smartphone and they close in on it. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I like suspected, who are we going to close in on? What is it going to be? We're going to close in on that screen, aren't we? That phone screen. And sure enough, he just got a friend request from Allie. So I can only hope that this means they're in talks with Elizabeth Shue to reprise her role, and how spectacular would that be? I have seen a couple of theories online even talking about maybe she might be a doctor or something like that, which may come into play, revolving around the character that had this accident so tragically because everything had come to a head as it did. And I would frankly love that. I'd love that if she were, very much integral into bringing this character back, so to speak, as well as possible, But yeah, if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, seriously, stop everything you're doing and go watch it. Watch the first season, watch the second season, watch all of the episodes. You will not be sorry. I mean, it's better than most average television offerings, even streaming offerings. I mean, you can have your Walking Deads and your Game of Thrones. Cobra Kai is where it's at in live action as far as I'm concerned. It's one of my all-time favorite things ever right now. And I just can't believe how bouncing off the walls it leaves me because of how exciting it is, how on the precipice, on the edge of my seat I am always left, and how rocked and riveted I am by the characterization, by the pacing, the plotting, the writing, the performances, cinematography, again, and the soundtrack, man. The soundtrack of this series, much as was the case with the first season, is just lit. It is completely on fire. It's burning down, baby. I love it. I love it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty much it for me on this. I think I've done enough fanboying, fangasming on camera for you guys. I suggest you go check this out, and I'd love to hear from you. If you've already checked it out, what your thoughts on the series were. Love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just be respectable, sharing your own opinion, and respectful of others if they happen to disagree. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to consider supporting my channel, please have a look at my PayPal support link posted both in the description as well as the comments below. It affords you opportunities very much akin to Patreon, where you can set up a monthly recurring contribution, a one-time only kind of thing. You can send me a personal message with any contribution you send my way, requesting topics I may discuss in the future, ask for shout-outs, or make recommendations of things I may check out, and would inevitably shout you out down the line if I happen to discuss. And anything you saw fit to send my way would be 2 thumbs up for me in securing my longevity on YouTube for the foreseeable future. And so yeah, until season 3, I will see you when I see you, but bring it, baby, because oh hell yeah. I'll catch you all later. Peace.